Where'll you be going?
Texas?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Go on, make it happen.
And now here's Steve and Michelle.
Welcome, friends, to Mallet and Michelle, where this week we come together in mourning, faith, and hope. In a matter of hours, the Guadalupe River soared to over 26 feet, nearly reaching 29 feet in Hunt, Texas, transforming quiet campgrounds into unimaginable loss.
At least 83 lives have been lost, and the numbers climbing. Our hearts ache. They were drawn to the serenity of a summer camp and families enjoying a holiday weekend.
Today we pause, we mourn, but we also hold to the light. There are stories of heroism, rescuers risking everything to save others. If your heart is heavy, know this.
You are not alone. We will do what Texans do best, come together.
As a community to heal, to help others, pick up the pieces, and find comfort in God's unending grace.
Yeah. It was a interesting weekend. It started off with us all going, oh, it's going to rain for the 4th of July. And that was the worst thing we could imagine. And then 24 hours later, something unimaginable happened. It was a tough weekend. So the stories that are coming out of Kerrville and Hunt and all the places out in the hill country, they're terrifying on some levels and then heartwarming as Texans come together to help the people in need and support each other. I think Texas has a history of doing that probably better than just about any state when there's been tragedy and loss, that we really support each other. And you pointed out HEB is sending truckloads of goods out there, just helping however they can. And that's happening right down to the grassroots level, where people are just loading up stuff from churches and driving out there and setting up food halls and things like that.
It's been an amazing response. It reminds me a lot of the Wimberley flood that happened 10 years ago. And it's just unimaginable, the things that kind of have transpired over this weekend, but then also in the tragedy and all of the damage, you see the wonderfulness, the humanity of people. And one of the stories that I thought we should talk about, because it's been talked about so much in the news lately, was this Mystic Camp. And who these people were, how the camp got started. Obviously, they aren't the only victims in this horrific tragedy.
I think the reason that's the most prominent, though, is because of the children.
I think so, too. Well, so Camp Mystic was established in 1926 by a University of Texas coach, Doc Stewart. He coached the Longhorns from 1923 to 1926. He's also the coach, Steve, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you've heard about this, he was the first coach where the burnt orange and white appeared on their uniforms.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so Camp Mystic at the beginning was one 8-week session from the very beginning until 1942. And then in World War II, or after World War II, they started offering 2 sessions. It's a Christian camp, but Agnes Stacy, fondly called Ag, became familiar with Camp Mystic in 1933 when she sent her daughter, Anne, to Mystic. And then she later attended Mystic herself as a director. And then after that, it has just kind of stayed in the family forever. I mean, so many prominent people have attended, even like Laura Bush, when she was a kid, she attended. But it leads up to the directors and the owners today, which were Tweety and Dick Eastland. They have been with Mystic since 1974, and they're the 3rd generation to manage Mystic, which has been in the family, like I said, since 1939. Dick, unfortunately, lost his life this past weekend trying to rescue some of these girls. And it's just, it's so imaginable. Like I'm, believe it or not, I'm kind of at a loss for words a little bit.
Too. Yeah, the history there you had these kids that went there as youth and then aspired when they became adults to be counselors, and they were there. And some of those counselors, at least one I know of, lost, I think, his life trying to rescue the girls that were there. I mean, it's, I was reading some of the stories this morning, these campers and people that live there on the river, they would, I don't know what's going on there, but they, were awoken in the middle of the night by some strange noises and stood up out of bed and were standing in 2 feet of water, and, then looking out the windows and the water's up to almost to the windows. And then, you go from sleeping peacefully in your bed on a rainy night to fighting for your life. One story I read was a guy, his house was surrounded by raging waters, and he knew he couldn't stay in the house because the water was going to rise up and he would drown inside the house. So he climbed out the window and just hung onto the windowsill until the waters receded.
I know.
Over hours and hours.
I heard about these at another camp. These boy counselors that they were helping get their counselors up into the rafters. And then when the cabin started falling apart, they pulled them down and they swam with these boys. Now, these boys are teenagers themselves.
I know.
Right? These are kids. Swam to another cabin and, again, got them up into the rafters. I also heard another one where these teenage girls, they were writing their campers' names on their arms in case they needed to be identified. Jeez. Which the fact that the 16, 17-year-old camper would have that hindsight, but the parents that are looking for their children, the parents that are still dropping their kids off at camps at various spots around Texas. It's kind of a Texas tradition. You go to camp.
It is
in the summer,
and you never imagine when you drop your kids off with all those adults that you trust that they're the worst that can be imagined is going to happen.
This did not only affect Kerr County, but it also affected Travis, Burnett, Kendall, Tom Green, Williamson. Yeah. I know the San Gabriel River crested. Many people.
I saw 4 people lost their lives in Travis, which I didn't expect. I knew we had a lot of rain, but I didn't know that there was flooding in Travis. But
and I think right now also is not the time to place all this blame. People are talking about, these are flash floods in Texas that are notorious.
Yeah, you don't have to live in Texas very long to know that we have crazy, wild weather, and that is not somebody's policy that does that. That's just Mother Nature doing what Mother Nature does in Texas.
The Guadalupe rose 26 feet in 45 minutes in the middle of the night. The next day when I saw a video of these girls being evacuated from Camp Mystic, there was a video on the bus of them crossing the river over the Guadalupe, and they were singing "Pass It On" and "Amazing Grace."
Oh, wow.
That was just so amazing. Back to HEB, there are so many people that are wanting to help and reach out. Please get with I would say an actual rescue team.
Yeah.
Also pay attention to Kerr County and their instructions. Mm-hmm. They are asking for people to not just go out there. I know one of our favorite people here in Dripping Springs, 12 Fox, is taking donations. Stacy Hogue, her father, my understanding, he was the fire chief of Kerrville for 30-something years. And their son right now is a Dripping Springs firefighter, Hays County firefighter, and he is out there right now helping with the rescue. So they're taking donations. One of the things I heard that they need a lot of, they need water, but Gatorade. They need Gatorade.
It's still
Gatorade.
Hot. I was thinking about that. You're out there, after this flooding, and just because there's water everywhere, it is still Texas in July. And those people are walking miles and miles up and down and it's not easy walking. It's not a trail. You're climbing over branches and rubble and trying to make your way because there's still every little pile of debris potentially has somebody underneath it. So they're searching all of those. So there's going to be a lot of people putting their lives in jeopardy out there searching. But I think one of the big things is, and you started to bring it up, don't go out there, just drive your truck out there and pop off the side of the road somewhere and just start poking around in brush. Try and find something organized going on that you can help with, because you don't want to take a first responder away from a situation where they're looking for somebody to come rescue you because you were too much of an idiot to know what to avoid. There's mud out there that's 10 feet deep and soft, and you can get stuck out there. There's all kinds of potential places where a rescuer that's not really doing what the organized rescue needs them to do can get themselves in trouble and take resources away from what's going on and needed.
What people, I think a lot of times people don't understand is there is an incident command system set up already, and there are grids that they need to work. And if you are disrupting that grid, you're burning brush piles that they haven't gone through yet. That was one of the things they sent out this morning. Please stop burning brush piles by the river until we can clear those. But these individuals, they also, I call them like clout chasers, self-serving helpers, disruptors. They're interfering with official operations, blocking roads, ignoring safety protocols, undermining incident command systems that rely on strict grids, assignments, communication channels. I helped out for several days at the Wimberley flood, Coast Guard Auxiliary, and I was sick as a dog, and I was covered in mud, mosquito bites. And I've seen some of these social media, quote, clout chasers, clean, not sweat, and they're just walking around making videos. This is not a time to grandstand.
All they're trying to do is increase their engagement on social media. They're not out there to help anybody.
No.
If you're thinking, oh, this is a good opportunity for me to get another couple hundred followers, then don't go.
Well,
Just stay home.
they're not content farms. And I had to remove myself off of a post off Dripping Springs Neighbors because I was going to get into a fight with somebody. And
you?
Shocking.
I
I know.
believe
And it's just
that,
like
Michelle.
I basically said, stop posting this crap. You're not helping.
Yeah.
And then some people started attacking me and like whatever. I don't really care. But you know what I want to talk about now? I want to talk about an American hero out of all of this tragedy, and it so happens to be a friend of my son. And his name is Scott Ruskin, and he is Petty Officer AST-3 rescue swimmer, Coast Guard rescue swimmer, Scott Ruskin. He's a 26-year-old kid from Oxford, New Jersey. This was his first rescue. Let me tell you how excited we were when Tate got his first rescue in Puerto Rico. And a lot of times, a lot of these rescue swimmers, a lot of people don't know, they sit around and they wait for these rescues.
Yeah.
They don't, you're not always out.
Yeah, you're not out saving somebody every single day.
Every single day. No, and you're up in the helo and you're flying around and you're just
training.
itching. You're training, and you're itching and you're itching and you're itching. This crew, the whole crew, came out of Corpus Christi, and they flew in a 65 Dolphin in horrific weather conditions. It was very, very dangerous, and I know that. I know
there were thunderstorms everywhere, heavy rain,
and it's areas that they wouldn't normally go out in. And I know that whenever Tate would go on a rescue, he would text me or he'd call me, and he'd say, "I'm going out," and I'd follow him on Flight Tracker and see where he was. But he served as the sole triage coordinator on the ground. And I don't know if a lot of people understand what that means, but he led the medical and coordinated helo evacuations, even the Blackhawks that were there. And he directed survivors into safety zones.
Wow.
He saved 165 souls.
Yeah.
165. This was his first actual rescue mission. Scott was quoted as saying, "Look, this is just so amazing. I'm just a dude. I'm just doing my job. Any Coast Guard member would have done the same." The Coast Guard rescue swimmer motto is "So others may live." Semper Paratus. It's actually all of the Coast Guards. But I think he deserves the Distinguished Cross, which is the highest medal you can receive in aviation in the Coast Guard. I know Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Director, has given him lots of accolades. People are kind of pissed off that he's getting all these accolades, but when he was talking, he really brought in his team. He couldn't have done it with his team and
Yeah.
everybody else that was there. But these military members, they don't do their job for the applause. It's
No.
a calling, and it's courage over fear. A lot of times it's a little stupidity mixed in
Yeah.
that. But do you remember Jonathan McCombs?
Mm-mm.
Jonathan McCombs is the gentleman that lost his entire family in the Wimberley
Oh, I
flood.
do remember
Yes.
that. Yes, I do.
He's a survivor of the Wimberley flood. He was injured pretty severely. He has recently, my understanding, he's moved here into Dripping Springs. So he is now a resident of Dripping Springs. What this man is doing now is he's also a member of TXR, which is the Texas Search and Rescue. He has aligned himself.
I've heard that he's doing that, yeah.
He put himself right back into the belly of the beast. Commendable,
Yeah.
Jonathan
Yeah.
McCombs, for
I know.
doing what you were doing.
Lost his whole family in that flood in Wimberley.
Yeah.
Well, I know there are going to be some people that will be lifted up and shown as an example of the courage that comes out of tragedy like this. But I think it's important for us to recognize everybody, from the people that are just handing out water bottles and sandwiches to the people that are, searching through brush piles and looking for hopefully somebody alive, but potentially bodies, putting themselves in harm's way. Everybody that's out there, we got to thank them for that. It's this country, this state really pulls together during times like this, and we want to thank everybody. The heroes are from the top down. They're not just one or two people. They're all heroes in my book.
Absolutely. And like what we said in the monologue, we're going to do what Texans do best, and we're going to support each other, and we're going to heal each other, and not listen to the rhetoric and the crap that is being said online. I think it's disgusting.
I already saw a couple posts. One was I think a city council person out of Houston saying that the only reason anybody cares about Mystic is because all the girls there were white. Like, stop that.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
stop,
She's
please.
already been fired from that
Yeah,
position. And there was a
yeah.
pediatrician in Houston also that was fired as well for saying some disgusting things.
Yeah.
This is not a time to be political. This is a time to come together as a
Yeah.
community and help each other out.
Lift each other up.
Absolutely.
Put your political differences aside right now. Now's not the time. Don't talk about. I saw somebody say, "Oh, the only reason that this happened was because the big beautiful bill was signed on July 4th." Like, shut the F up. You're just an idiot. You're not helping. Just be quiet. Just go let these people grieve, find their lost loved ones, and let's support the people that are out there helping them with that. Because I can't even imagine. It actually gives me goosebumps and chills, and it turns my stomach to be a parent right now when your kid is lost and you don't know where they are, and you're out there hoping somebody finds them. At some point, you're going to be hoping they find them even dead or alive, just so you know what happened to your child. I can't even imagine that. So all of you out there that are trying to take political advantage of this, just shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear it. Just
I agree.
stop. So
I agree. They're everybody's children right now.
yeah,
It's everybody's children.
That's a great way to say it, Michelle.
Well, thank you guys. We're gonna bring our guest in. We have Renee Harper today. She is the owner of, I'm going to say this wrong, the Relic Revival Estate Sales.
Estate sale
She's
company.
also been with Project Connect in Dripping Springs
Yeah.
for a long, long time, which
She
I
sat
think is
on their
perfect
board.
timing.
I'm not sure if she's currently sitting on their board.
Yes, I think she's an advisor on there, and Renee's great. But we also don't want to forget our sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't even put this show together today, and I'm sure our sponsors will forgive us for just going through this really quickly. But Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room, Jovi Belterra, South Star Bank, and the Mallet Integrity Team couldn't pull this show together without you, and we thank you for your support. But so Renee Harper is going to come in here, and a big part of Project Connect, which at times like these has really helped pull people together and do good things. So we're going to hear about that and the business that she's got going on right now. So hang on, sit tight. We'll be back with Renee Harper.
Vodka-flavored vodka? How boring.
At Deep Eddy Vodka, we say, why stop there?
Our vodka's made with real fruit, handcrafted right here in Texas.
We've got bold cocktails, refreshing mocktails, food trailers on the weekends, and plenty of local events.
So come sip something with a little more soul than just plain vodka.
Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. Live here, sip here.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
South Star Bank has remained true to its Texas roots for over 100 years. A commitment to the people and communities they serve, along with flexible financial solutions, allow their clients to shine. Mortgage loans, checking accounts, or complete business solutions. South Star Bank is your financial partner. South Star Bank, trusted by professionals, backed by tradition, built for Texas.
SouthStarBank.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. NMLS 410624. Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. This vibrant 55 and up community is located in Dripping Springs, just right outside of Austin. 1- and 2-bedroom homes, resort-style amenities, and just steps away from shops and restaurants. Forget the yard work. This is your time to relax, make new friends, and enjoy the life you've dreamed of. Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. Live JoviBelterra.com. 737-387-6870.
This show is brought to you in part by the Mallet Integrity Team, serving Dripping Springs, Austin, and the surrounding areas of Central Texas since 2004. When you need the best real estate advice and service, give them a call at 512-829-2062 or email them at malletintegrityteam.com. And now here's Steve and Michelle.
And we are back with Renee Harper, owner of Relic Revival Estate Sales, and my friend. Hi, Renee.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me today.
Welcome to the show. We were having a good time when you first came in laughing.
I know.
Hopefully that's not all our
know.
best content out of the way right there. Well,
All
we
the
always,
secrets.
Yeah, all the secrets.
All the secrets.
We always start the show off by asking our guests how they ended up in Dripping Springs the first time. So how'd you end up here the first time?
You know, I was an Air Force wife for many, many, many years. And when my husband retired, we were looking for a place to bring our kids. Our kids were middle school, elementary school age. And so proximity to our ranch and great school districts, we landed here. And that was about, 2012 maybe. It's been a while. Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
I'm a South Texas gal.
Oh, you are? Texas born and raised.
Like Alice Coyotes.
Oh, Alice. You're
Alice.
Coastal Bend girl is what you are. Yeah.
And people say, oh, yeah, Dallas. No,
Alice.
No, it's
Alice. I'm not sure I've ever heard of Alice.
It's down it's going towards Corpus.
Oh, do you drive through?
It depends on which way you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you go the Victoria way, do you drive through Alice? Is that?
I think it's been a while since I've been to Alice.
So we got two born and raised Texans here in the room, and I'm not one of them.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Not everybody can be as blessed as we are.
That's true. That's true.
For sure. So growing up in the Coastal Bend, how was that? Because I know how it was for me. It was hot.
Wow, that's a loaded question. Well, back in the day, it's a big oil field boom back then. So Alice, Texas was an oil field town. And, it's a small town, not a lot to do.
A Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen, the Pizza Hut, someone's farm or ranch. You hear all the country songs about what you do in a small town. That's what we were doing.
Would you go into the big city, i.e. Corpus, to go shopping? Or where would you go shopping or to the movies?
Shopping or to the movies. Yeah, definitely Corpus. And other things.
That's the way Yeah. That's the way Dripping used to be just up until probably right about the time you moved here in 2012.
Yeah, quiet little town.
Yeah, it was very quiet. There wasn't anything to do here.
How did you jump ship? How did you get out of there? Did you meet your husband?
Well, I graduated, and then I went to college in San Antonio, went to UTSA.
Ah, me too.
What?
Yes, Roadrunners.
Yeah, go girl. Well, I'm a lot older than you, so we were just like a building.
Building. That's the way we were too.
There weren't dorms or football teams or
no football teams.
I don't think any teams.
One statue.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And then lived in San Antonio. Gosh, I was there 13 years, and then met my husband now my
Now
ex-husband.
your ex-husband.
Oh, this is the Air Force.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to
Okay.
pivot from there now?
Well, we'll pivot from that.
So married an Air Force pilot, swept me off my feet from San Antonio to Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Oh, the
geez,
thriving metropolis.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Did he fly bombers or something? Or isn't that North Dakota's?
Air refueling, tankers.
Oh, yeah, tankers. Okay.
He flew heavies, RC-135,
Yeah.
KC-135.
Okay, yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine would be up there.
Did you ever get to go overseas at all?
Never went overseas. That was actually, for some reason, it was a personal choice. I didn't want to go overseas if we had any say in it, just being away from family, having kids and things like that. So I didn't live in any interesting
Did he ever
places.
get stationed someplace for 6 months without
Oh,
you?
yeah. Deployments? Yes, for
Deployed,
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah. And then you moved to Dripping Springs because of the schools, get your kids in good schools, which is why a lot of us ended up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then,
Kelsey and Austin.
yeah. What did you start doing when you got here that led you to what you're doing now, which is Project Connect and then the Relic Revival?
She's always
Estates?
been the volunteer queen.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about queen. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe
In the court, at least.
minion.
Minion.
So let's see. What was your question?
Well,
How you started out.
Were you
Okay.
when you were living on these other bases? Were you heavily into volunteering then, or when did that start?
So never lived on a base. Minor detail, but I've never lived on a base. So for me personally, we were stationed in Del Rio, Texas, which is there's an undergraduate pilot training base there. It's also a border town. And one day I got a call. I think my daughter was maybe 5th grade, 6th grade. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I got a call from a school counselor, and there was a family. There was a horrific incident, gang-related murders, families, like just terrible things. And there were all of these people that escaped and came over and were living in safe houses, so to speak. We'll just say makeshift safe houses. And they came with the clothes on their back. So what they needed were all the basics, clothing, shoes, backpacks, necessities. And I thought, okay, well, in my neighborhood, and in Del Rio at the time, there wasn't we didn't even have a Walmart.
Oh.
So I think there was Goodwill and the dollar stores. People would go into San Antonio for that. So I thought, hey, I'll just put this out on my military base network, the Moms Network and Nextdoor. I don't even know what we had back then, but I put it out there. And as the days, I just shared the need. And by the end of the next day, sorry, I'm going to get... by the end of the next day, there were boxes and bins and just all of these things on my front porch and calls and texts and all of these things of people that wanted to help and finding homes for these kids and families. And so right then I learned, wow, just like, look what happens when you just share a need. Sorry, guys.
No, that's exactly what we're here for.
Yeah.
So that's literally all I did is I shared a need. And so, I mean, there must have been at that time, I don't know, it was numerous families. And so anyway, that's where that started. And so we were able to fill that need and fairly easily. And then I think people want to help.
Yeah.
People always want to help. They just don't know where to start. And it's very overwhelming of, oh my gosh, what can I do? Or maybe physically I'm not able to do things, or maybe I don't have the money to donate or whatever. And that's why I always say, just share the need. Just share the need. And so that became a thing in Del Rio, the 4 years that we were there, and just making connections with school counselors and families, and through the military. There was FBI, there was Border Patrol, there was all kinds of federal agencies there. So moving forward from Del Rio, when my husband retired, we moved to Dripping Springs, we rented a house in High Point for a while till we figured out, where we wanted to be. And same thing. And I was kind of done with that. That was like a one and done kind of thing. And, yay humanity.
Yeah.
Let's move on for that. We helped while we could. And then, I don't know, this was so long ago, but someone reached out and they were getting their first foster placement.
Yeah.
And they needed all the things, beds, clothes. And I think it was 2 kids or something. I was in High Point. I was like,
a somewhat affluent community, and you're thinking, I don't really need to.
And this was before Foster Village was a thing. Where,
where
there was one place to go.
Well, plus I just moved here. Even if Foster Village was here, I didn't know about them. So I was like, hey, I'll share this on the High Point community and Dripping Springs neighbors and all the different places. And, I made a little list of all the things they needed. What do you think happened?
No. Exploded
on my front porch, all the things. And so being in an affluent community, you think there really aren't any needs.
I have seen that. I have seen, if you don't have to drive too far down many dirt roads around here to find immense poverty, terrible poverty, people living in conditions you can't even imagine, just right off of Ranch Road 12.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that how Project Connect was Project Connect already an organization, or how did that whole group come about?
Well, as my memory serves me, it was a while. I think it's been about 10 years. And there were some very amazing people in our community that were just sharing needs, just out on, the different social media networks.
From what I remember, Renee, you were also the person to go to if you had things like that. Like I remember because I live in High Point, and I remember you sharing things in High Point, but then being in Dripping Springs, your name would always come up. Like, oh, so-and-so needs XYZ. Oh, well, contact Renee Harper. Contact Renee. And I think I've been to your house several times when you were living here in Dripping Springs, dropping things off to your front porch.
Well, let me answer the other question before. So all these like-minded people. I think what happened, like Shannon O'Connor, Lisa Olivo, Steve Curran, I don't even remember all of the people that originally started Project Connect, but we were all sharing these needs, and there were little networks that we all had. I think there was also like the Angel Network, where some of the school principals and counselors would email us and share a need, and we would just try to take care of it. Very small. I'm talking like maybe 10 people on that. And then Shannon and some of these other people got together and said, hey, I'm sure it was far more eloquent than that, but we're all trying to do the same thing. We all have the same goal in mind. Let's put our heads together and maybe we can form a 501c3 and really, really help in a bigger way. So I wasn't part of that, but shortly thereafter, I don't even remember how it happened, but I had the opportunity to get involved and be a part of that and, creating the name and the logos, and we had so many people on board at the time wanting to help. We're down to, I think we went down to 4, then we went back. We've been struggling a little bit, but we have a great team now. And I think what happened was just like-minded people in the community. We were all sharing needs independently, and then decided we can do more together.
So the original mission then was just to connect people in need with people with resources? That was the mission?
Yes.
And you guys have kind of shorted up a little bit more tightly, right? It's people that are within the DSISD. Your kid, you don't have to have children within that school district, but it's within the DSISD school district that Project Connect helps.
Right. What was happening, our kids were coming home. And, we raise our kids to open their eyes and, look around and pay attention. Sure. And, our kids would come home and share, things that they heard from a classmate, or maybe their classmate wasn't eating lunch or had been wearing the same clothes for 5 days or had been gone for a while or whatever. And so from that, our kids shared those needs. And I think that's where it all started. So independently, each of us would take those needs to the community, just saying, Sally needs clothes, or, it started very, very small. Now we are connected with other community resources. So if we're not able to handle a need, we can definitely refer them somewhere else. We are restricted to the Dripping Springs ISD and families in DSISD because that's where the families are that we're serving.
Sure.
So,
what other organizations are you connected with? Hometown Missions is one,
Yeah,
right?
I think Hometown Missions, right?
Hometown Missions, Heart of Texas Pregnancy Resource Center, I'm going to say the Hill Country Senior Thrift Store. They would help us tremendously. Honestly, I haven't had a lot of contact with them. Foster Village, Lost and Found Ministries is a nonprofit that serves the Austin area homeless and also similar needs or vulnerable families in the Dripping Springs community. They no longer live here, but they still serve families here. Helping Hands, several of the churches. There's just so many really amazing organizations here in town helping people.
This town has more groups willing to help than any other community I've ever lived in, by far, by probably 3 times any place else I've ever lived.
What I
It's
understand
amazing.
also about Project Connect, it's like little tiny acts of kindness constantly, whether it's someone needs new flooring or a flat tire or some kind of hard times have been bestowed. And I was talking to the president of Project Connect,
Lisa
Little, and who is a friend of Steve's and mine. And she wanted you to mention this gentleman right now that you guys are trying to do some crowdfunding for, Jeremy, who was in a motorcycle accident a little while ago.
Yeah.
And she said the great thing about Renee is Renee got on the phone and talked to him for about an hour and just
really?
learned all about who he was and what happened and what he
What's the
needed.
story there? What's going on?
So Jeremy is a young man, about 50. That's young to me.
That's young. Yes, that's young.
Hardworking. He's a widower. He moved to the Austin area about a year ago to help his ailing aunt. He moved here to help her. Always been a hardworking guy, able to take care of himself. Sadly, his aunt passed away shortly thereafter. He was actually living in East Austin, kind of Manor area. Wasn't really able to work there, so he got a job here in Dripping Springs and was, supporting himself sufficiently. And December of 2024, he was riding his motorcycle and was T-boned by someone. Hit him, threw him, I don't know how many, threw him way across the car, across lanes of traffic. Miraculously, Jeremy was able to get up, but later learned, he had a concussion, he had a head injury, he had I don't even remember. He's, several herniated discs, damage to his legs. He can't lift his shoulder. And so for obvious reasons, he's unable to work in his line of work. So he continued along the path trying to work, slowly, gradually falling behind in all of his bills. He knows no one. He has no family, he has no friends, he has no community here. So he's just fallen further and further behind. Well, clearly the accident was not his fault. And there was an insurance claim made. When Jeremy felt that he was not being adequately cared for in his claim, he reached out and found an attorney. For whatever reason, there were attorneys that didn't want to take his case, so he found an attorney online. Never met with the attorney. To this day, has still never met with the attorney. His case was settled very quickly, and that's a whole nother case. That's a whole nother story about misrepresentation. So he was left with bills to pay. He didn't have loss of work, all kinds of things. So here we are. He's not a guy that asks for help, but he's unable to work. He's got a head injury. If you look at Jeremy and you see him, he looks fine. He goes to work. He's a surveyor. He can work about 4 hours a day, and that's it. He lives on somebody's property. He's in a little cabin, and Jeremy rescues dogs. As soon as he got here, he rescued. I think he has 3 dogs now, and honestly, that was one of his biggest concerns was, how am I going to take care of these dogs? I can't feed myself. How am I going to take care of these dogs? So
you guys are doing a crowd fund for him and taking donations to try to help him. Is he getting any type of therapy for his injuries, or even helping him with paperwork and stuff like that?
From Project Connect, or just in
or
general?
Just connecting him with people.
Well, we
that can
met,
help him.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say helping connect him, like what you were saying, connecting.
We met Jeremy. I met Jeremy just a week ago, so not even a week ago.
This is all new.
So this is all new. And then tragically, the events of all of the flooding have shifted focus to that, which obviously huge needs. But Jeremy is here. He's in our community. He really wants to be working and contribute to that. As far as connecting him to other resources, we're working on it. So that's all I can say to that.
Yeah.
How much time do you think during the week, because you're a business owner as well. We'll get into what you do for a business, which Steve and I kind of have a little bit of experience in dealing with that. But
you need me.
Yeah, we do. We do need you. But how much time do you think that you were spending volunteering a week? Or do you even look at it as a time percentage? Is it it seems to me it's just a part of who you are. So much a part of who you are.
Wow, that's super sweet. I don't know. I think once people see you as a helper or a doer, people are always going to seek you out. There's nothing. There's no secret. There's no big mystery. There's no great gift to that. I don't know if I'm even answering your question.
Yeah, absolutely. You are.
I think, like I said to you guys earlier, is just sharing a need. I think
there's so many people out there that want to help and they don't know how, and they don't know where to go, and they don't want to just send some money to whatever organization where 97 cents of it is spent on overhead.
Exactly.
And so when somebody comes along and there's a almost boots on the ground response, I know if I give you 12 pallets of water, that water is going to go to somebody that really needs that water. It's not going to be shipped off someplace way out of the community. So I think that's what it is. People are always looking for a way to really have an impact, and that's the door that you open this is right here in our community. If people want to help out with Project Connect, where can they find out more, and how can they get involved?
So Project Connect, I think what's different about us is we don't have a lot of visibility in the way of we're not posting checks. We're not posting photos of our efforts. We're not able to do that because the majority of our referrals come from the school district. They're coming from counselors and nurses and principals, pastors. So we maintain a level of confidentiality and discretion in that. So what we're doing is definitely behind the scenes. So although you don't see us posting a lot, we're always helping within the school district and helping behind the scenes. Are you asking specifically about Jeremy?
Well,
Jeremy?
I say just in general, you can go to projectconnectds.org, and there's all of the information there where it shows you how to, if you are a person in need, if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate.
Let me tell you what Project Connect needs.
Yeah.
Yes,
please.
tell us.
Please, what we need are long-term monthly commitments. If you own a business or you're blessed, I mean, if you're giving $20 somewhere through your corporate accounts or your payroll or however you do that, I don't even know how people do that anymore. If you got $25, if your business has $100 that you want to go somewhere to help people right here in your community, the people that are serving you, the people that work around you, the families that are going to school with your kids, jump on to projectconnect.org and or it's actually projectconnectds.org.
ds.org.
And go on there. You can make a one-time donation. You can make a bigger donation to help Jeremy, which is an immediate need because he's about to be homeless. And his needs are urgent. But what we would love to be able to help people on a daily, weekly, monthly level without having to do crowdfunding. We would like to say, yes, we can help you with this, but our funds are so limited.
Yeah. Do you think that the fact that you don't do more public stuff hinders your
visibility?
Well, visibility, but also ability to raise funds. If it's a fact that the world we live in is all online, social media, and you taking something to Jeremy and a video of that, and I know sometimes it seems like exploitation, but that raises the awareness, which makes somebody more likely to go, you know what, I'm going to put them on, I'm going to send them $25 a month for forever, whatever. I think, I know, I understand the side because I feel that way sometimes too. I'm not doing this for the notoriety and the fame, but I also think that you have to be, the community has to be more aware of where you have impacted. So I would say you need probably a little bit more social media. But
and yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And we're all volunteers.
Yeah,
and it's funny,
right.
Lisa, we'll be having our board meetings and people comment about something they didn't quite finish or didn't get to, or I have to remind, I was like, we're all volunteers.
Yeah.
We are all volunteers. Many of us are business owners. We're parents. A lot of people have kids in school, other obligations. We're all volunteers. So, but yes, if we could have ongoing monthly support from local businesses and families, that would be a huge blessing.
Maybe what you need is somebody that isn't donating money, but will donate their time to raising awareness about all
Time,
the good
treasures,
things.
and talent. Yeah.
Maybe that's the person you need to find. Get somebody on the board whose gift is, hey, look, I can help spread the word about how many wonderful things
Well,
you've done.
there's a
in the
call
community.
right there.
There it
This
is.
call-
There you go.
call-
Bring it on.
Reach out to Renee.
Call
Yeah.
for
Bring
that.
it on.
So I want to now go deep dive into Relic Revival estate sales, and
It's not that deep.
it can be. It's I
I-
have
yeah,
found
I
that
wanna-
it has
I wanna talk
been
about this too.
emotional sometimes when we have clients that they are downsizing, which they thought was their forever home, and they are going in to a place.
We found out that's very rarely a thing, the forever home, isn't it?
It is. It is very
It's very rarely the
definitely
thing.
for now
the
home.
pick and choose that they have to do of years and years of being attached to something monetarily, or a vase or their china. You know who I'm talking about. Remember the
Yeah.
whole conversation about we
Yeah.
had with China. They're not China, the country.
Yeah,
China.
girl, I
China.
understand China
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
Not China.
we had a couple, and they had this China set that they had got for a wedding present, and they were, in their 80s, I think, and they had it their whole adult lives together, and where they were moving to assisted living, they didn't have room for it, and
And it was sold in the estate sale.
Sold in the estate
so
sale.
can you share an estate sale story that has stayed with you long after it has ended? That you can think of, you're like, wow, that one was a little tough.
Wow. Gosh, should have given me a little notice on that. Well, here's the thing. Probably right now and today, there's a lot of people downsizing. During COVID, people were selling their homes. The market was hot. They were living in an RV or a yacht or going somewhere.
And they were buying so much crap online because you were sitting at home in front of your computer all day.
Yes. So as far as someone actually passing away,
Or I would just say like an estate sale that you had where it was tougher than you would have thought it was going to be, of them kind of getting rid of their things. What does that conversation look like when you're talking to a client, right? Let's say you're going to Steve's house, who's a total minimalist, so we'll never have any problem with that. You go to Steve's house and you're saying, I'm going to help you pare down what you want. What is that conversation look like?
I want to know about that conversation because there's a memory with everything they've got. And unfortunately, the memory most of the time ends with them. And you have to say, it's time to part with this. I want to know how that conversation goes.
So you're talking about a client that is still living.
Yes.
So a lot of times are your
downside.
clients passed away, or is it a mix of both?
Well, sure. Back in the day, we're not young spring chickens here. Back in the day, someone, excuse me, someone passes away, your grandma, your aunt, someone passes away. So now the family is brought in. You need to liquidate everything in the house so you can get the house on the market, or someone can move into that, whatever the situation is. Nowadays, there are so many families and so many opportunities for downsizing. There are people moving into independent living.
Yeah.
They just reach a season in their life that they're like, okay, we want a new lifestyle.
Sure.
Then there's assisted living, which is a different level of care. And then there's right now, no kidding, last month or in the last 2 months, I have had 4 clients in their retirement ages just moved to Mexico.
Oh, really?
House is on the market. We're done. We're out of here.
Is there a common thread that prompts that?
We can't talk politics.
You can
here,
talk
right?
politics all you want, Renee.
A lot of it is political.
Okay.
A lot of it is family dynamics with each individual. A lot of it is just a need for a lifestyle change and simplicity. Every client is different. But lately, a lot of people are getting the heck out of Dodge. They just don't want to be here anymore for whatever reason. They want a simpler life. They have the means, and they go for it.
Yeah.
So
I think you got to be careful. If you move down there and rent, you're okay. If you buy something, you got to be careful.
no.
There's been some protests this weekend in Mexico City because they're tired of that.
Yeah.
So in the
and it's not
estate,
just Mexico.
No,
they're
moving
moving to other
Portugal, it's
places.
everywhere.
Moving, yeah.
Australia.
What is some of the surprising things that you have found that people want to keep that you're like, I'm surprised that you want to keep this?
It's memories. Sorry, that's such a broad question that I'm not answering your questions. Like you said, China.
Yeah.
China is a thing. Childhood memories or things that they're
My attic, entire attic right now.
It's always cracked me up. We sold a house in an estate. The house was not part of the estate, but they downsized, and she had moved to an assisted living place and could only take a number of things. This is a pretty big house, 3,000 square foot house, and they did the estate sale, and there's some things left over, and then the family was going to come and take whatever they wanted. And this particular client, her deceased husband had been a pilot in the military, and there were some black and white photographs of him with presidents. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I would want that if I was one of their kids. They were left to be thrown in trash can. And Michelle and I looked at them and we were like, well, maybe we should take them. And we both said, but
That's
it's not our stuff. But I was like, this is history right here. It's going to go in a landfill.
And there were pictures of her and NASA.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're like, oh my gosh, you just felt so
I was
awful.
thinking if the family obviously knew they were there. They were sitting on tables. They just said, no, we don't care about that. It's interesting to me what is cherished and what's not. Have you had instances, because we've run it, Michelle and I have run into this, where the money that's going to be passed on, the knives come out and the family can get ugly?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a whole nother series.
Well, go ahead. Open up that can of worms.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah, it does us too.
So, for the most part, my clients are kind, caring people going through a very emotional time. What's hard for me to watch is the dynamics of an elderly person. I become far more empathetic to that. Their kids, their family, no one's been in touch with them. These families, or this individual, let's say Aunt Betty, has been living on her own. She's 84 years old. When you reach a certain age, unless you have a housekeeper, there's just certain things you can't do. You can't keep up your house. You can't keep up your yard. Not everybody has the means to do that. And their family aren't around. Even their own kids, not around to help them.
Yeah.
And
until
dun
dun dun.
Yeah, until unfortunately Aunt Betty passes away, or Aunt Betty has to move into a nursing home or independent living. Now everybody has a say. Everybody has, the things of value. They want to come in and take anything of value that they can.
Because sometimes they want to sell it themselves.
Absolutely.
And pocket the money. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then just leave everything, leave the rest for an estate sale or clean out or whatever it is they need. So, yes, I've seen some pretty ugly arguments of who gets what.
Yep.
What do you think that says about our society? that stuff is more important than people
or money.
I think we're very disconnected. That's a very kind, diplomatic word. I think people are very disconnected, and I see it a lot. I have to bite my tongue. When someone doesn't have a will, it gets a lot worse.
Oh, I bet.
Probate sometimes, as you guys know, can take 3 to 6 months, a year. I mean, it just depends. So, I do have a funny story, but that's for another
Come on.
time.
No, tell us the funny story, Renee. We want to hear the funny story.
Okay,
we need a funny story today.
So a while back, we do need a funny story. A while back, people come to me as a client needing help. And for the most part, I do some research. I do a superficial background check, make sure, they own the home, or try to see who they, So I had someone come to me that was, supposedly the fiance of a Marine. Went and visited their home, walked through the home, pictures of it looked like someone lived in that, looked like a happy little couple lives here. And so her husband or fiance was deployed at the time. He was getting ready to be stationed somewhere else. So she was taking care of the house and everything to get ready to move. So I come in, I do the estate sale. And during the sale, some neighbors were coming over asking about, we're just going to call him Paul.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Where's Paul? Did they sell the house? Like, what's going on? But long story short, Susan, Paul had broken up with Susan prior to deployment.
Oh, no.
He'd broken up
So
with her.
she's selling all his shit.
Oh.
She was pregnant maybe his baby, maybe not. It's like Jerry Springer for estate sales. So come to find out, he had no idea. She still had a key. He thought everything was fine. She came in and sold we sold everything. Not only did we sell it, whatever was left gets donated. So we had done a full clean out afterwards. So now.
And did she get the money or did he get the money?
Well, nobody. Who got the money? At the end of this was he got the money, but law enforcement. But she got arrested for fraud, impersonation, like all kinds of things. But I had to stop and take a deep dive and go, wait, am I responsible for that? Like, how much information do we need?
I was just going to say, you may need to put a procedure in place.
No, I do now. I do now. I do now. I look and see like who owns the home, do a deed check, and all the things to do due diligence. But who
then you have Paul owns the home, but Paul's got it as a rental, so it's the person that lives there is a tenant, but it is all their stuff inside. I mean, I can see all different kinds of scenarios that would be potentially iffy for you.
Steve, you're going on vacation for 2 weeks. I'm gonna have an estate sale while you're gone.
I got 12 things. You can sell whatever you want.
I know he's a minimalist. He's not my ideal client.
I realized about 10 years ago that a lot of the stuff that I was keeping only meant something to me, and that when I was gone, my wife Holly, there was no connection with her, and my kids, there was no connection with them. That stuff was going to be sold in a garage sale or thrown in a dumpster, and I thought, I'm just going to save everybody the hassle and either sell it or get rid of it, donate it. So
we're all attached to our stuff, and at the end of the day, I personally went through this when I got divorced. I was in a 4,000 square foot, I don't know how many, anyway, big place. The more cabinets you have, the more you want to stuff them. Like, hey, I can put this here. That was me.
Yeah.
Now I'm in I don't even know.
It's a sustainable kind of era.
1,600 square foot condo. And having an estate sale business, like you have to be extremely diligent of not bringing
I bet.
anything into the house.
You could become a hoarder. I guess. I guess I could see that. Do you think now that has kind of shifted your idea to, you were talking about in your bio about you being sustainable and we kind of have a throwaway society now. Steve and I have talked about that before, but what do you think a small change that somebody could make that would help them and you if we ever have to use an estate sale? What is something we should be doing now? When you just said it, we're stuffing things in closets and cabinets that we don't ever see again. What is something you hope your clients would have done 5-10 years before you even got to them?
Well, where we are now, our clients that have passed that are, 70s, 80s, 900s, that was an entirely different generation. And going through, people would stockpile. They wouldn't know if they would need this again, if they were going to have money.
Yeah,
so
especially somebody that grew up like in the Depression.
Depression, that's the word I was looking for.
I knew a lady that every paper towel she would tear it into quarters and just use a quarter of it because she was brought up that everything was so expensive and valuable, and so just that kind of mindset. Yeah. So they're keeping everything. That's where the hoarder mindset comes from.
So go through a cabinet.
So for us here today, for us and our generation behind us, and honestly, I'm struggling with this right now. I am trying to get stuff out of my place, and when I finish an estate sale, we donate everything. But I'm always thinking about, someone could use this, or someone could use that, or some really basic things that, lamps and anyway, just basic things that someone someday. Yeah, I need to.
When you do your clean out, where do you typically donate the stuff to?
So in a clean out, most of the time in an estate sale, in our contracts, 99.99% people are okay with donating things. one of my biggest struggles is connecting people. I have some organizations, not necessarily in Dripping Springs. The first thing I do with items that are left over is there are some items that are not worthy of a great deal of effort. Like they can just go to a thrift store or Goodwill. But nice items, there are organizations. I know we're in Dripping Springs, so I need to be promoting Dripping Springs. But the first thing I do is I reach out to local people here in Dripping Springs and say, hey, is there a family in need? Is there someone?
I have a piano.
I gotcha.
Let's say we have a piano.
Yeah, door to door. Door to door. Is there someone that needs? They're going to have to pick it up in 48 hours.
Sure.
But this is left over from a sale. There's organizations that I work with. Oxford House, which is amazing organization. It's transitional housing for people coming out of. Do you come out of addiction?
I think you're always an addict. But
They're people. They're in their recovery. They're in their recovery. And so, well, anyway, that's Oxford House. I could go down a whole rabbit hole with Oxford House.
So it's not necessarily Goodwill or something like that.
Sometimes it's Goodwill.
Okay. Do the whoever is heading up, not you, but the person that ordered the sale, do they pick where they want to go, or do they just say donate and then you choose?
I give them the option. It depends on the individual. Most of the time, they don't care. But if I know it's a pet lover and someone that was an avid dog lover or whatever, I will make sure that things go to the Austin Pets Alive. They have several thrift stores. So the thrift stores support the Austin Pets Alive rescue mission. Top Drawer Thrift, they support the LGBTQ and the AIDS community. I go there. Heartening is a place for clothes. These are not places in Dripping Springs. Like I said, I will check with the Dripping Springs community first. But yeah, a lot of things do end up at Goodwill.
Yeah,
You're plugged in. You're plugged in a lot of different places.
You mentioned the Austin Pets Alive, and then in your bio, you put that you volunteer at the Austin Farm Sanctuary.
Yes, you said that's your favorite place to volunteer.
What is that, and
my
how'd you get involved in
those
that?
Guys.
And what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to go.
What's it called? The Austin Farm
Austin
Sanctuary?
Farm
Austin Farm Sanctuary.
Do they have cows?
Honey, they have cows, they have pigs, they have
monkeys. Do they have any monkeys?
No, the farm animals. Think of farm animals.
Monkeys could live on a farm.
There we go. So I became
I know. I saw that you're vegetarian too.
Yeah, I came into that very slowly. It's been like a 10, 15-year process. I'm now all in, and I'm a wannabe vegan. I'm not there yet. So Austin Farm Sanctuary, you guys can go look up austinfarmsanctuary.org to learn more about it and their history and everything. But
Miss Piggy lives there, Buddy and Dexter.
Yep.
What do? You just sit there and pet the animals?
So I'm almost 60 years old, and I have severe arthritis. I'm not mucking stalls like some of the really hardcore volunteers are doing. I read to goats.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Really? What do the goats do, Renee, when you're reading to them?
They turn the pages. They turn the pages.
Do they eat the
for
pages?
me. Sometimes they eat the pages.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So I haven't been out there in a while, but I've been out there for some of their work days. My best contribution for them is monetarily. I support them monthly. I share their needs, but they need volunteers out there. Again, we're in Dripping Springs, but if you have someone that
love it,
and they have different events where you can go out there and see the animals, pet the animals, feed the animals, but they are completely volunteer driven. I think they have a couple of paid staff.
They have turtles.
Yeah.
2 birds, too.
Birds.
What is it?
So it's out.
Yeah, where is this place?
So you know where Bastrop is?
Yeah.
So it's in Page. Please don't ask me for roads and I know how to get there.
Page is easy to find.
Yeah. And the people that started it are just amazing humans.
Do the animals end up being adopted, or they just
No. It's a sanctuary.
Once they're here, this is it.
They are rescued from horrible situations where they would have been killed, euthanized, slaughtered.
Oh.
And so, this is
home.
where they go to live.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you are, I guess if you were a farmer and you're like, hey, I could use some goats on my property, and you were well vetted, and we knew that those goats were going to live out their best lives.
It seems like they have a lot of pigs over there.
There's a lot of pigs. Some of the stories that are up there about those pigs is heartbreaking. And one of them, Doya, is 600 pounds.
Oh.
Holy cow.
Wow, for sure. So, Renee, we know you talked earlier about your head injury and how that has kind of shaped your life, your routine, and I think it probably gives you a little bit more perspective when you're dealing with people with your estate sale and the people that you're helping with Project Connect. But how are you serving yourself? You seem to serve so many different people. Is it when you're at a concert, when you said that you love concerts or watching? Is Austin still in theater? Is he still performing?
Austin, my oldest, graduated from TCU last year. So, yeah, he is an actor. He has an agent. He's working in Fort Worth, and just it's a tough.
It is.
So he's doing it. He's out there hitting the pavement. So,
but are you enjoying? How are you enjoying your life? Like fun-wise?
What do you do to make sure that you have the energy for the day?
What, reading to pigs? Is it goats? Is there more?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll have to go
there's more.
try it and let you know.
There's
Renee.
a little
I'm
bit
not
more to
sure.
life.
How am I still single?
It's a mystery at this moment right now. You know what? Maybe there is a man out there that is also
vegan.
ready to read the goats.
Oh my goodness gracious! Get a life, Renee.
You do have a life. I would like to go through my rapid fire unless you had any
go right ahead.
other questions. Okay. So these are my little rapid fire questions. Some are fun, some are deep.
Well, you're going to make me cry.
That's the last one.
Probably.
That's the last one.
That is her intention.
Yeah, that's
Renee.
the last one I have. If you had to live on one veggie forever, what would it be? I hope you don't cry at this question. Just one
if
veggie.
You're vegetarian.
You better pick one because all the others are going to get mad.
I think she's going, okay, which one's the most nutritious?
No, not nutritious, the delicious.
Oh, shoot.
There's not many delicious ones.
Carrots, I guess.
Okay,
carrots.
me too.
Yes,
That's what
like roasted
Oh,
carrots.
mine would be carrots.
Yeah,
I
roasted
love
carrots.
Broccoli, please, but I hate the smell.
I kind of like them all.
What's the most Texan thing about you?
Texan. Well, heck, fire. I don't know about that one.
There you go. Is it your little accent?
Gosh, Texan?
It's got to be that you're born and raised Texan.
I
That's
think
getting more and more
it's her
rare.
spirit of giving.
Well, there you go. 'cause
I shop
that
at
is
HEB.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Give
Well,
HEB a plug.
Yeah, we actually did give HEB a
Yeah,
plug
we
right
did.
at the beginning.
Yeah, we did.
What is something that you've let go of physically or emotionally that changed you for the better?
Ooh.
Your ex-husband.
My
You're gonna say your ex-husband.
Oh my gosh.
I think a lot of people could say that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that. What's the question again? Say that again.
That's something you let go of physically or emotionally that changed you for the better. Well, I mean, if that's your first answer, then that's your first answer.
Yeah, I have a lot of childhood trauma. That's a whole nother thing. But just learning to be present and just understanding, everybody's doing the best they can.
Isn't that the truth?
Our parents did the best they can. Our people did, the families, ex-husbands, maybe, whatever.
It's really
forgiveness.
easy to,
It's kind of
really
cliche,
easy to be
but
critical about the people around you when you're still dealing with stuff yourself.
Yeah.
So
Well, my very last question is, what's one act of kindness that someone did for you that you will never forget?
first of all, I forget a lot. But what I can remember most recently is after my divorce and having to move out of my, selling my house, getting out of there. I had cataract surgery.
Oh, jeez.
Right before, it was all planned before the house and closing and all that. And I think we just had snowmageddon. Like, it was a crazy time. And although cataract surgery isn't, it's not an invasive thing, you're very limited to what you can lift, and you can't bend over and everything. My friend Joan Daniels and her whole family, I don't ask for help. Like, I just don't. I can't. I'll ask for other people, but she and her family just came over and did it. They were just packing, and I'm going to cry thinking about that. That's the most recent thing that I can
Isn't it great?
Think of, and something that is it was life-changing because I was frantic.
It's hard for me to ask for help too, but when your friends come out of the woodwork and just do something for you, it's pretty special.
Yeah.
Renee, I heard this quote a couple of times this weekend, given all the flood information and stuff, and it said about Mr. Rogers and how Mr. Rogers always said to look for helpers.
Look for the helpers.
And I don't think you have to look very far when you look into you, because you are definitely one of the biggest helpers in our community, and we are so blessed that you have chosen for many years to raise your kids here in this community, and you continue, even though you're living outside of the area right now, but you continue to give back and you think about us. And she just punched the microphone.
Yeah. Well,
Drop the mic.
Yeah. And you've done it in such a graceful way. You haven't done it. We get a little sick sometimes of the people that help, which is great. We love that. But then they stand up on a big platform and beat their chest and say, look at me. And you haven't done any of that. You've just silently served so many people in the community, and we thank you for that.
Well, thank you for that. Project Connect, and there's a lot of good people out there, and I'm just one of
You are good
many
people,
serving
though.
them.
You are good people, and you need to believe it as much as everybody else does.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
guys
for coming
for having
on the
me.
show. Yeah. Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. This thoughtfully designed 55-plus community is paired with resort-style amenities and social activities. They offer 1- and 2-bedroom homes located in Dripping Springs, the gateway to the Hill Country. Make friends, make memories, make time for you at Jovi Belterra. Live JoviBelterra.com, 737-387-6870.
From rodeo clowns, teachers or doctors, and everyone in between, Texans have one thing in common: hard work deserves smart banking. At Southstar Bank, whether you're buying your first home, building a dream ranch, or just managing daily finances, our 16 branches across Central Texas are here for you. Southstar Bank, trusted by professionals, backed by tradition, and built for Texas. SouthstarBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender, NMLS 410624. Your weekend doesn't really start till you're with Deep Eddy Vodka.
The tasting room in Dripping Springs, where the Hill Country gathers.
Sip real fruit vodka, handcrafted cocktails, or a mocktail if you're keeping it light.
Food trailers on the weekends, a family-friendly vibe, and you've got your new favorite hangout. Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. Sip local, sip real in Dripping Springs.
Follow Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room on Facebook and Instagram for what's pouring and what's happening.
This show is brought to you in part by the Mallet Integrity Team, serving Dripping Springs, Austin, and the surrounding areas of Central Texas since 2004. When you need the best real estate advice and service, give them a call at 512-829-2062 or email them at malletintegrityteam.com.
You know you like us, so go now to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave us a review. Why don't ya? We love your feedback and comments. Email us at malletandmichelle@gmail.com.
Thanks for putting up with us.